So, one day I was just hanging and my friend told me this joke. If K is okay and pop is grandpa, does K-pop mean okay boomer? Now it's kind of funny, but I forgot to laugh because my head spaced out when I heard K-pop. I thought to myself, hey, I'm Asian, why don't I do a K-pop video? So, I'm gonna do 4 looks. Let's just get started.
Chiếc này hồng đen trong khu vực bạn đó.
They say in each of us there are 2 wolves. One buys fabric and forgets about them. The other does the same, but it's white. So when I saw this picture, I was like,
From what I found on Pinterest, this top is from a brand named Chapman. The price on the website is $215, but wait until I reveal how much mine costs, you'll be totally shocked. After cutting the pieces, sew them together and rewatch the entire series of Attack on Titan and cry for 5 consecutive days. Speaking of anime, someone in the comments said I sound like Froppy from MHA.
Like, girl, how did you know she's my favorite character?
Someone else said I sound like reporter Tricia from Family Guy. After sewing them together, I ironed the seams down, add boning tunnels and bones. To make the pleat bottom of the top, use a strip of fabric and pin pleats along the waist. Pin a different piece of fabric underneath that and work all the way along the waist from there. Speaking of work, few of you ask me if I go to work. Well, I do. Since I work from home, every morning I take a taxi to work.
sexy!
Making the skirt is very simple. Wrap a piece of fabric around your hips and draw the pattern. Cut your main fabric out, sketch out the lines, then sew and scrunch this fabric along the lines. I don't know what this fabric is called in English, but in Vietnamese we call it tutu. And tutu is also a Gen Z euphemism of suicide, which makes sense because... Well, you try sewing with this fabric. This definitely is the cheapest set I made in this video.
So I bought this fabric for 25k BND. That's like exactly $1 with the bonings and boning channels, $0.5 more. So this equals what make me.
I think it's pretty close to the original, but you'll have to be the judge for that. I definitely made the back too low. That's why it doesn't support my chest area very well. Other than that, no other complaints, so I give it a 9 out of 10. Someone in the comments said that it's hard not to flash people with my fits, but baby, I don't flash. I cover what needs to be covered. Cô bé mùa đông winter. Guys, I have an issue. I am flabbergasted. So many shops are selling this dress. You see, Jaded London, Fashion Nova, holy, Walmart, Amazon, Shein. And there are like a handful of celebrities who wore this dress before. I don't really get the hype, but let's make this and find out. Denim just reminds me of Y2K, and in case you didn't know, Y2K actually means year 2000. I remember so many things happened that year and I was crying a lot. It's because I was a newborn. My mom said I cried a lot. After cutting, I got these pieces. I will teach you guys a really cool magic trick.
Huh?
Dive the camera right in the middle of the fabric. Now say this mantra out loud 3 times. When you back the camera away, they're already assembled together. I go ahead and double top stitch the seams. Add a few worms in the back for the lace before sewing an elastic piece of fabric to it and top stitch. I actually made another entire video about denim. It's one of, if not the best video I've ever made, but for some reason it's not doing so well. So if you like my channel, please support me by watching that video. I'll put a link in the description. I really appreciate you. This dress now is definitely a 10, but on a pH scale, meaning it looks bland. So, we need to bleach it, and it's important to bleach your denim after all the sewing is completed so your clothes will look naturally faded. This piece actually cost me the most in this video because, well, it's denim. And denim is expensive, right? But you know what? When you thrift denim, it's actually more expensive than when you buy new. At least where I live. It does not pass the dance check because when I move like this, it tends to pull down. And I have to manually pull it up, so if you know how to fix this, let me know in the comments. With the shoe in my bag, put it on my head. Drama. And we can become even winter by wearing this papaka hat. It goes so well with this outfit. I actually made it for another outfit and you will see it later in this video. I actually like it more without the bottom belt because it makes my torso look longer. So altogether, I give it an 8 out of 10 because 1, too loose, 2, too expensive. Why? Yuck. Guys, I found the fastest way to drape. So I'm draping this top right now. Normally, I would pin a piece of fabric on the mannequin and then trace it. I take it off, cut it out, and put on a piece of paper, trace again, and cut it. Only after then, I have the pattern. But look at this. This is one-side glue fabric. You can drape directly with this on the mannequin and then just take it off, put it on a piece of paper, iron it, and cut it out. Then, boom. You have the pattern. So try it out and let me know if it works for you. When you have the pattern, cut the fabric out and sew them together. Add boning tunnels and bones. This is the top after sewing. I made these roses following Nabi Sew's tutorial. I'll put a link in the description if you want to learn too. I remember when I first knew how to count, the first things I counted were how many shirts I had. Then it would sadden me when counting back and forth I only had 11 shirts. Then my mother would console me. Hey, why don't you make your own shirts? To which I replied, Mom, I'm 6. However, my mother never wanted me to become a tailor when I grow up. I too thought that I would only become one when pigs fly. Whee! Whee! Now look at me. I'm a YouTuber. I used the skirt I made in my vacation video as pattern, line it with silk. After sewing all the pieces together, add a zipper to the side, add a fake pocket cause women don't need real pockets. We ain't paying. Make 14 holes on the flap and lace it up. This outfit's colors are very bright and plain, so it needs a lot of accessories to tone it down and give it some texture. Honestly, I was very surprised at how good this fit turned out since I couldn't find the exact same fabric for the skirt. It still gives the same vibe as the original even though there are some differences in the fitting. Satin is 1.8, blue fabric is $2.
2 balls of fur.
Making it the second most expensive fit. This one scored 9 out of 10 for me because it's cute. Kimchi mom, không có sợ. Did you know the name of the group SSERAFIM is an anagram of the phrase I'm fearless, which suits this outfit perfectly because it reminds me of people who hang with polar bears. So I used a jumpsuit I own as pattern to make the top, then cut a triangular hole in the chest area. For the collar, cut a rectangular piece of fabric. To hold the collar up, I used this face shield which my fiance bought me to protect my face from jumping oil when cooking. Before I had these, he just put a plastic bag with holes on my head like it's Halloween. I decided to use satin from the third set to make the skirt. I start by making the pleat pattern with an iron. Turns out satin is way harder to pleat than I thought and it's also see-through. But don't worry, we can fix this fast. Whip out your iPad, draw a bag and paint it black. Turn it into a real plastic bag and throw the satin in there. Give up. Nope, I ordered a new skirt. Luckily, this kind of skirt is very easy to find, unlike other pieces in this video. But we still have to do some minor fixings. Cut off the top of the skirt and turn it into a more fitting waistband. Sew the waistband to the back of the skirt, do some thorough hemming and such. Make the gloves by drawing a pattern on your sketchbook, pull it out and use it to cut this furry fabric. Put 2 pieces right sides together and sew along the edges. I also made this papaka hat. So you can make it the same way you make a scrunchie if you've never made a scrunchie before. Think of how you would make a tube top. Making a scrunchie is nothing like making a tube top.
This is really a harmonious outfit. Everything comes together so well, but I know I should not be wearing white because I'll ruin it so quickly. To be honest, I hate the top because for a person who's really strict with form, the fitting is really weird and it swallows your figure. It's because I don't have much experience making tops like this. Please share a tutorial in the comments. Furry fabric cost me 2.3, skirt 2.8, so this one cost me 1.5 slippers. I'd love to hear which one you like best in the comments. I'll make another K-pop video if this video gets 10k likes, and let me know what looks you want me to recreate next. Also, don't forget to check out my YouTube channel for more videos just like this.
Subscribe.